Hello and welcome to your in-depth monthly horoscope for May for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Also, if you'd like to have a one-to-one consultation with me, please see the link below and you can check out my testimonials. If you'd like to ascend above the Zodiac sign astrology and embrace a more serious understanding, you can do so in a very affordable way and check out my special offer for a 12-month forecast character analysis combination, 30% off based on your time, date and place of birth. No two reports are the same, and this will give you searing insights of the opportunities ahead for you and also a much greater understanding of what makes you tick. Hello Cancer and welcome to your in-depth monthly forecast for May. The month begins in sparkling fashion with an amazing alliance between the Sun and Uranus in your sector of the future, but also your sector of where you connect with others. Uranus can push us to be a bit more radical. It also can push us to free ourselves from situations which aren't working. So if you've been on some kind of long-term plan and you're near to achieving that hope, but it's kind of lost its sparkle for you, you may feel you need to reset your compass in a different direction. So some kind of change can occur at the start of this month, but you have Mercury and Venus forging very stabilizing links to Pluto in your sector of relating. So there could be some quite deep and profound conversations going on, but it's all about trying to get your hopes aligned in a way which really works for you. And although both Mercury and Venus are going to be moving on the 4th and the 9th respectively into a much more reflective part of your situation, the new moon on the 11th is very much about that future, and it's linking in a very inspirational way with Neptune, the planet of dreams, which is in your sector of adventure. So some kind of change or some kind of future plan that has travel as part of it, whether it's traveling in your mind, in your emotions or your soul, it doesn't really matter. It depends on what works for you personally, but some kind of big change can move forwards on the back of this new moon, but I think it needs to be profoundly right for you at a very deep level. So it's not just about being idealistic and hopeful, joining together with people because you've got shared interests or shared principles, or there's some kind of cause that unites you. You need to feel there's a sense of sincerity there as well. And if you do find yourself just withdrawing to the degree that you do keep others a little bit more at a distance, it wouldn't be a surprise, but don't beat yourself up about it. Your sign is governed by the moon, so it's very important for you to focus on your emotional equilibrium at all times. However, on the 13th, Jupiter, the planet of growth, moves into a very productive location for you. It inches into the sign of Pisces, which shares your water triplicity, and is going to be there through to the 2nd of July. So that desire to widen your horizons, whether it's through your mind, through your interests, through learning, or through physical travel, if it's possible, is something that's really going to grip you over those months. Now on the 15th, Mercury goes into shadow, and that's because it's actually going to go into retrograde on the 29th of this month, and that is quite complex for you, because if there is some kind of deeper sadness or deeper strand of a more psychological nature to do with the shadow side of life, so it may be something that's got pushed to one side in the past that you do need to process and think about, you may need to do this in quite a full-on way, and it may be that you're feeling some kind of loss. Even if it's people that you understood why you separated from them at that particular time, there may still be the emotion to work through. You may have felt that you have done this work, but actually you could be quite surprised by there may be more to do. However, if you do any research, or you're trying to understand the deeper part of life in a very profound way, Mercury does forge a terrific angle with Saturn from the 10th through to the 15th. And if you have some conversations with some kind of advisor, you're thinking about your longer term resources, that research or understanding that you gain can be very, very helpful to you. Also, from the 17th to the 19th, it's Venus's turn to forge a very positive angle to Saturn. Where you have alliances that are rock solid and you can really trust those people enough for you to show your vulnerability, I think those connections can get even closer. But from the 18th through to the 24th, Jupiter does square to the Sun. Now, in a natal horoscope and the nativity, this can often make people very generous. It can make them exaggerate a little bit. It's a classic hale and hearty type of person. Always pleased to see you. A bit larger than life. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but there could be a little bit of that going on. And for you, because the Sun is yet to move into the sign of Gemini, which it will do on the 20th, this is a disassociate square, I should say, between the watery position of Jupiter and the airy position of the Sun, the earthy position of the Sun at that point. So it may be that you're not quite manifesting your hopes, and if you are feeling that you do want to change things up and things aren't moving quite as quickly as you would like, that may explain why. But once the Sun moves on the 20th, then they become an associate square. And that's just saying to you that if you do want to open up your world, you just need to be aware of any sensitivities by rushing the situation that this may create. But before the Sun actually moves into Gemini, he actually forges a brilliant angle to Pluto. So a relationship that does provide a lot of sucra, a lot of confidence, a lot of encouragement, can just give you such a lot in the run-up to that transition. So once the Sun does move into your 12th house to join up with Mercury, Venus, and also the North Node, you are given a lot of support, and someone can come forwards that can be significant at that time. Now, the Sun moving into the 12th house has a similar meaning. It's about a time of review. It can be when your physical vitality drops a little bit. But if you are interested in healing, any kind of spiritual strands in your situation, they're going to be emphasized and heightened. On the 23rd, however, Saturn goes into a retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, so you are being asked to micromanage your longer term resources carefully, and if you're involved in a business partnership, that may need some extra care and attention. Now, the full moon, which occurs on the 26th, is in the sign of Sagittarius, very much about freedom, but for you it's occurring in your sector of physical realities, of where we provide service, where we're committed, where we have obligations. It can be about our organisation, it can be about routines, but it's reflecting back across the heavens. On the other end of the polar axis is the Sun in your 12th house. So if something is a bit out of kilter around your health, don't look at your health in purely physical context, and nor look at it in a purely emotional one. I'm a great fan of Louise Hay, but if you know about her metaphors, if you have a sore back, is it because you're carrying, or sore shoulders, is it because you're carrying too much load in your life? Those kind of physical metaphors are really helpful, but they're not always totally apt, because some health issues are, for example, genetic, inherited inherit them from our parents. My mum suffered a lot with indigestion. I suffer with indigestion. Some of these things might be how we live our lives, but not always. But I just think if you can look at your health in a very holistic way at the end of this month, or your work, or where you have obligations, if something is out of kilter there, this is a great opportunity to put it right by making some changes. Now, as I mentioned before, Mercury does go retrograde on the 29th. Those issues of trust really become paramount from here. And I wouldn't be too open this month in general with people that you don't know particularly well. I think the people you can really rely upon are going to manifest that energy to you in a very visible way. But if there are some people around you that you're not sure of, do keep your cards quite close to your chest. But there is a chance to reset your longer term hopes at the start of this month, but then you may need some time just to process some outstanding strands. And all of this is preparing you for when the sun moves into your sign in June, and then you're going to launch forwards in a highly dynamic way.